Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. We're at the longest racetrack on the circuit. That's going to be Talladega Superspeedway. We got the Alabama backstretch going on all the way through the night. But before we get into the track depth and what we're going to be able to see here tonight, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mr. Wesley Outland. Going to be up here in the broadcast booth with me here tonight, and then Dean behind the cameras in the production booth. Wes, how you doing on this fine morning?
I am doing great, my friend. We are here in Talladega. We are ready for Talladega. Dean told me to act like Luigi from Cars, everybody. Round number 7 tonight for the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. Here presented by CT Electrical. It has been Keith Hackney and Dave-O with the multiple wins of the season. Will an Aussie break through here tonight? Talladega is a wild card. It'll be a fun one.
Absolutely, as we get a nice little Season 1 standings right after Darlington. But get ready to go over to the grid for tonight's race at a super speedway. Track is going to be Blaine Dinsley in P number 1 with Zach Kerr starting outside row number 1. Row number 2 will feature the 342 of Zachary Sears and Shane Bowen starting outside row 2. Row number 3 is going to have Ben Faulkner in 5th with Fitzroy Beaumont in starting P number 6. Row number 4 inside is going to be Kute Dallin 7th, and then Jacob O'Reilly in P number 8. Starting out your top 10 in row number 5 is going to be Tyler Williams in the number 99 and Scott Rankin in the number 59.
Row number 6, and you're going to find Dave Douglas for Nitro. To the outside, Trent Lavelle. He sponsors the Truck Series this season in the CT Electrical entry. Another Nitro driver, Dave Olgenzak and Adam Gray. By the way, he's the most recent winner. Olgenzak was Dave-O. Aaron Dorman and Josh Micklemore for Nitro make up row number 8. Row 9 here at Talladega, Riley Curtis and Tom Freer. Synergy, number 41. Your top 20 on the grid, Jason Holdsworth and Keith Hackney, a 3-time winner this year.
Row number 11 is going to showcase Ryan Barber in the 05 and Ben Henniker in the 22nd. 23rd is going to be Matt Danson and Brad Newman in P number 24. Row number 13 is going to have Ethan Winter in 25th. 26th is going to be Aaron Borg. 27th and 28th is going to hold Sam Chapman and Timo Blundell. In row number 15, starting in your top 30, is going to be Gary Wellman in the number 45 and Andy Barber in the number 194.
Guess what? We're not done yet. Row 16, Angus Lawford and Chris Bleakley for 1-9 on the outside. Row 17, Brian Blundell and David Lawler for Project 36. Row number 18 on the grid, 36 trucks already, Jaden Green and Jared Gilbert. And guess what? Still going, Zach Blundell and Chooch. Brandon Griffiths right there is ready in 38th position. That is your lineup, 19 rows, 38 trucks, ready to go for 90 laps here at Talladega.
There you see it down there on the bottom right of your screen. Stage is going to be kind of critical here tonight. 45 is going to be the first stage on tap, and then you got another 45 laps, and then another last stage, ending out with 90 laps total here tonight. In West, such a large field of trucks all the way in and through. We're going to see 3, 4, even possibly 5 wide racing. Green flag pit stops, 32 to 35 laps on a tank of fuel. But drivers getting ready to get back to the Echo Park restart zone for the first green flag of the night, brought to you by CT Electrical. Barney's got the green flag in his hand, getting ready to wave these drivers off to the races. We are underway at Talladega already. You can see them all getting up to full song. Everybody going to try to fight for position, try to get where they need to be, find their friends when they can get them. But it's all going to come down to that final lap when everybody's going to be by themselves.
By the way, guys, unless they changed it, Dean, there's 3 stages tonight for Talladega. 20 laps, 50 laps, and then lap 90. So the first stage is a 20-lap stage. Then that'll take us to stage 2 for lap number 50, which would be another 30-lap stage. And then there is the push for 40 lap in stage 3. So we'll make some adjustments on your scoring ticker. But right now, we're underway, completing lap number 1. Let's get this started as they come to the line. Put the opening lap to Blaine Dinsley as they roar coming out of turn 4. We're 1 lap in.
Yeah, already 1 lap in. You can already see the top 4 trying to break away from the rest of the pack. But all in that first lap, all the way around Talladega Superspeedway, we've seen a little bit of 3 wide. It looked like Shane Bowen all the way up towards the top. He's going to get left out to dry. He's going to drop back in the middle of the pack. And with all these trucks out here, Wes, at Talladega Superspeedway, you kind of want to be somewhere where you feel a little bit comfortable. You can be up at the front, you can be in the middle, you can be in the back. But where you don't want to be is in the middle of the big one of when that decides to happen, is we already have 3 wide racing all the way in and through this field. Top 7, nose to tail, single file. Then it gets a little bit dicey and hairy towards the back.
This is really too early to be racing like this, but it is Talladega, so put yourself in that position and see what you got. Because look at them already stacking up 3 wide, 2, 3, 4 rows now behind them, coming off the corner out of the back straightaway. That's the Alabama Gang Super Stretch. And then they're about to hit 33 degrees of banking, heading up into turn number 3 and 4 there, Dylan.
Yeah, you can see them, they're trying to figure out which pack they want to be in. You can see there's a nice big old pack of trucks, and then you got a little bit of a secondary pack towards the back, just in case if people want to get a little bit spicy and want to try to take those daring moves, as we're going to see those moves all throughout the night. You got to see what your truck can do in clean air, dirty air, what kind of side draft that these drivers can give and take along the long backstretch. And then again, it's not like Daytona where going through the tri-oval, that's where the start-finish line is. You got to put it another 100 feet further. Once you get through the tri-oval and get ready to go down by turns number 1 and 2, you're going to get the start-finish line down there. So a lot of these drivers that haven't really been able to do a lot of Talladega Superspeedway racing, West, they're going to think that the start-finish line is going to be in the tri-oval. No, they got to think again. They got another 100 feet to get to that start-finish line.
I mean, and listen, patience is key. I think of this race tonight, Dylan, like an all-star race. It's broken down into 3 segments or stages, if you will. You got a 20-lap race, a 30-lap race, and then the 40-lap race. Well, the 40-lap race is kind of like that 10-lap segment of decided back in the day when they used to run the Winston at Charlotte. But it is a lengthy stage. Take advantage of that. Know that that's what you need to do here. To first win the race, you must first finish. Don't tear your truck up here in the early going, as the top 5 are single file. Behind them, they are 3 wide, 6 rows deep, and this is what's wrong. Trouble. Dave Douglas gets turned. He goes around, and more trucks pile in from there. Trouble in turn 3.
Yeah, big trouble. Dave Douglas, Keith Hackney, Jason Holdsworth, and others involved in that one. We could see it from the chopper camera. A beautiful view by Dean Hopton in the production trailer, giving us that beautiful angle from there. But I'm going to go click over to a CT Electrical replay here. And you're going to see just a little bit of an offset bump. I believe that's Fitzroy Beaumont all over the back bumper, or is that Jacob O'Reilly, giving Dave Douglas a really bad shove going into the corners. And at this point, Wes, you're kind of just holding on for dear life and going to see what exactly you can do. I mean, it's not like any other racetrack where the wrecks go down towards the inside wall. They go up towards the outside wall. So being on that outside, Wes, is going to be really devastating if you can't get around it.
Yeah, I mean, and you see right there, there's the bump. The 222 there just got him loose and got Dave Douglas sideways in the corner. We always talk about don't be bump drafting in the corner. Here's a prime example why, Jacob O'Reilly, the blue 222, you don't bump draft people, and then especially in the corners, and then nowhere to go for Holdsworth or Douglas or the 38 with damage. He gets collected in it. That, of course, man. Some really good trucks here in the early going got crashed out here, and that's frustrating. Shane Bowen, look at this now. Some of the Project 36 trucks, Angus Lawford.
Yeah, a lot of heavy damage for a lot of these drivers out here. You can see them kind of missing a little bit of the rear bumpers, the quarter panels, wherever they can miss, they're going to be missing it, as Aaron Borg shoots it down to the grass. He's going to be able to miss it, and that's really much the only thing that you can really do, Wes, is go through the grass. Yeah, you're going to take the hit on getting an incident point with going off track, as iRacing calls it, but when there's nowhere really to go, you got to put that truck somewhere where nobody else is, and in that grass is your special space to go, as you've seen there. Both of Jaden Green and the number 24 and Angus Lawford getting into contact with Project 36 machine entries, as getting another look on board with Tom Freer going into turns number 1 and 2, and everybody trying to check up, but nobody's really noticing the heavy smoke. Doesn't really know what's going on, because Wes, these wrecks, they happen really too quick. It's not a slow starting wreck. It's there and then it's gone.
I mean, well, you saw we were showing an overhead angle, and I was saying the top 5 trucks were single file, and then all of a sudden I said there's 5 or 6 rows, 3 wide, and you get skirmish going in the corner. And look, it was just a chain reaction, and that's exactly what we just saw. 6 laps in of 90. Stage number 1 will be 20 laps. Blaine Dinsley right now leading the way, and we're under our first caution so far of the race. But here's the thing, man. You still got plenty of racing left. Guys, don't tear your trucks up here. And remember, there's no fast repair in this series. So if you badly damage your truck, you might be out of this race.
Yeah, and you know, looking back at the replay there, Wes, you know, if I was the 222 of Jacob O'Reilly, I think I would have lifted completely, got right back square with David Douglas, and try to race it another lap or two, but getting there just a little bit too quickly and not getting out of the throttle, maybe hitting a little bit of the brake to get yourself down there as you just get another look. I mean, it's lap 6. I would have checked up just a little bit just to try to stay behind Dave Douglas. You can see there in a little bit of an offset bump again, and then he got down below him. And superb driving by Dave Douglas to not go down and take out Kute Dow and take out even more competitors, but definitely would have seen a different take on my end with lifting just a little bit to stay behind Dave Douglas.
Let's look at the point standings, obviously coming into round number 7 tonight. There has been 6 rounds completed, and on the road to the chase, there's the 12 drivers, the ones in white, that have advanced so far. The ones in red on the outside looking in, that's your top 20 overall. But they got to do something here. And remember, Dylan, it's no longer winning you're in. That's gone. You've got to show performance to climb the ladder, to put yourself in the 12 spots needed to race for the chase. Oh, and by the way, the clock's running out for that as well. What are we down to? 4 races left after tonight before that begins. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, with Rockingham being next week, and then you got another 1.5 miles of Kansas, and then you got a road course of Coda, and then you got Pocono. A lot can happen. I mean, we've seen the dominating performance from Keith Hackney and Dave O, and then obviously with Coda being right there in the mix, you're going to see the likes of Brandon Gardner or Griffin Gardner coming in and, you know, probably doing really well at Coda if he's able to make it. So if you want to throw a monkey wrench in your plans on Thursday nights, this is where you want to be. I mean, it's 1.5 mile draft track. Pocono, all about the draft and setting up the passes. Rockingham's all about saving tires. The really big toss-up is really going to be the draft tracks. I mean, anybody can win those draft tracks. So you definitely want to keep your truck clean like you've been saying all night here at Talladega. And this is one of those tracks with Talladega being a toss-up for everybody in this 38-car field.
Ready for the restart. This is the Australian NASCAR Truck Series presented by CT Electrical, and here they come back in the restart zone, back underway. Still got 12 laps left to go here in stage number 1 as Dinsley gets the great launch over Kerr and Rankin and Beaumont. They climb the banking back into turn 1 and 2. Remember, Super Speedway Racing, Dylan, is going to give them about a lap or 2 before they get back up to full song.
Yeah, and with Blaine Densley down on that inside, getting a good jump on Ethan Winter on that outside, or Zach Kerr, on that outside. He was able to get clear, but here comes, I believe that is Brad Newman, bringing himself up the outside, using that side draft to his advantage. He said, you know what, I'm not going to be sitting in the back, wasting my time. I'm going to get up here towards the front and challenge this man for the race lead. And Brad Newman, from the back to the front, is going to possibly lead this lap. If he can get clear of Blaine Dinsley, he's got it. He's got it going on in Dave-O right behind him. So a new race leader is going to be Brad Newman and Dave-O. Dave-O is going to stay up top. Brad Newman thought about going down low to block off Sam Chapman. Thought better of it, wanted to stick with Dave-O. And now we're back to 2 wide racing all the way through this field.
Yeah, now Chapman down at the bottom of the racetrack on the inside in that 101 machine. He's starting to climb up in that mix with the outside lane, really showing power as Barber drives down to the bottom, throws the block, puts the tailgate in front of the front bow of the machine at Chapman. Barber now looking for the lead. He'll power with Brad Newman off the corner, door to door.
Door-to-door racing all the way through turns number 3 and 4, but it's going to be the high side getting the momentum coming off of turns number 3 and 4. Brad Newman, Dave-O leading the front up on the outside. Then down on the inside, you have Barber. And behind Barber, you got the number 28 of Ben Faulkner running along, or Sam Chapman, running behind him. And then now, top 3. Spread out just a little bit over the rest of the field, and we're back to 3 wide racing west towards the back.
Love the rumble of those trucks as they thunder their way down into the corner, into turn number 3, and we're already 3. My goodness, we're already going 3 wide again, and we got trouble again. Trouble, big trouble, trucks crashing. Turn 3 and 4, a parking lot. Tyler Williams, Trent Lavelle, Aaron Borg, others collected, caution out. Oh, my.
Yeah, definitely not what you wanted to see coming out of turn number 3 and 4. We've seen the smoke We get a nice little view of it from the CT Electrical camera angles. Here is Trent Williams down into Aaron Borg, back up into Trent Lavelle, and I believe that is Scott Rankin in the 59 getting involved as well. Definitely not what a lot of these drivers wanted to see. I mean, 2 cautions with 3 wide racing the way that they needed to go, or Ethan Winter, excuse me, being involved in the number 39 and being up on the outside. You have no escape from a wreck. And the 16 of Fitzroy Beaumont giving a shove to Brett Lavelle, and the number 67 causing the calamity corner, officers number 3 and 4. And luckily only 4 trucks involved, but could have been a lot more if it was a bigger parking lot towards the middle of the pack.
Here we go again. You know, Dylan, we just talked about this, man. Monkey see, monkey do. And we go 3 wide again. And look at these guys. I mean, look at Aaron Borg and the 39 Rankin. Nowhere to go. Trent Lavelle, the 99 up in the just destroyed. Trucks down at the bottom of the apron, badly damaged. And we literally just talked about, hey, guys, we just had a big wreck on the backstretch. Let's not do this frantic racing right now. But restarts, it goes in one ear and out the other. You can't win these races on lap number 15. I'm all for putting on a great show, right, Dylan? But man, this is not. You just don't drive like this in the first stage at Talladega. I mean, it's just, you know, all we're doing is tearing trucks up and causing a shorter pack before we get to the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, me personally, I would like to see the 3 wide racing coming in the final stages. A little bit of 3 wide here and there in the first 2 stages, but don't be making drastic moves, drastic measures on lap 13 of the opening stage of the race. But, you know, in the Luigi voice from Cars, P-stop? As everybody going down into pit lane that was involved in the first 2 cautions. Going to get those trucks repaired as much as they possibly can. Pit road still looking a little bit full, as looking at the Wrench Wranglers, Keith Hackney, Gary Wellman, Ben Henniker, Ethan Winter, Shane Bowen, Tom Freer, Dave Douglas, Jaden Green, Tyler Williams, Matt Danson, and Andy Barber. All the drivers still in pit lane getting those repairs fixed.
Hey, everybody, before we go any further, if people did not know, our buddy Dylan McDonald celebrated his 30th birthday on Tuesday. So, Dylan, big happy birthday, brother. Yes, sir, man. Hope it was a great day.
Oh, yeah, it was good. You know, Monday ended up turning dirty 30, as a lot of people say. So, it was fun. Had a good time. Had a good weekend. Spent it with the with the girl and the kid, and back to reality tomorrow as I get ready to go back to work.
Back to reality.
Well, actually, later tonight, because it's already Thursday morning.
Right, yes. And it's April. So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I didn't have anybody play any pranks on me, and I didn't play no pranks on anybody myself, man. I think that's the stupidest, you know, it's just the stupidest holiday ever. Like your dad played a prank on you and said there was a koala in the tree. And how old are you, Dean?
No, actually, he did this many years ago, actually, in the value. He's like, come on up, look at this. I swear there's a koala up there. Look. I was like, where? He's like, there's a koala up there. Look in the tree. I'm like, I can't see it. And then I realized
if I ever do go to Australia, I'd be afraid to come outside. All the damn stories y'all told us about.
There's a drop bear up there in the tree.
What do you call it? The bird that flies and picks people up and flies them away?
Which one?
What are they talking about?
We got many of them.
I don't know. They said there's a bird that flies and picks people up, and it'll pick you up in a stork.
That's one for the chat out there. Should we let the Americans know about that? I don't know if we should keep it a secret.
My brother's even told me about this. He's even told me about it. He's like, there's great things about Australia.
Don't tell the Americans.
And then there's, hey, Dylan, the Americans got something to brag about, but NASA Armistice took off last night at Cape Canaveral, flying to the moon. First time in 50 years. And I didn't realize this. And I done some checking up on this, man. It's going to take a while for them to get to the friggin' moon. It's 700,000 miles away from the Earth. And it looks like it's right up at you at night. Right? I mean, like tonight, last night was a full moon. That's crazy. Yeah, they were doing a launch to go around the moon. They're going to the moon, and they said it was going to take 6 days to get to the moon, and then they're coming back. I'm like, yeah, probably the Russians too. Yeah. Aussies, do y'all have a spaceship, Australia? Do the Aussies have a spaceship? I don't. Let's go.
Getting ready to go green flag back on out. Brad Newman going to go ahead and get a beautiful jump down to that inside. He's going to bring the number 342 Zach Sears along with him. And already single file for the top three, but now there's two wide racing going on. Maybe getting a little bit more comfortable with these drivers going back and forth through the pack. As now you got Brad Newman leading this field, Zach Sears in second, Dave O in third, and Blaine Densley rounding out your top four with Zach Kerr rounding out your top five. And so far, everybody going from the top down to the bottom. They don't want to be on that outside, and already three wide in the middle of the pack.
Dean, is it a pterodactyl? Newman in front, coming through the tri-oval, down to the line. And it is Newman holding off Sears, Oljanczak, Densley, who led earlier. By the way, we're 5 to go here in stage one. Everything's broken in stages, and we will get a caution, Dylan.
Yeah, we'll get a stage caution here with 5 laps to go. The next stage, these drivers won't have to worry about fuel at all. They're going to top off on fuel after this stage. Going to top off on fuel after the next stage. And then the final stage, hopefully, we'll be able to see some green flag pit stops coming through the field. But you got 3 trucks down on the inside. You got 3 on the out. Kute Dow is going to make up 4 on that inside lane. And then you got a little bit of a gap back to 7th or 8th position. But not no more, because everybody's going to be joining this field as Brad Newman and Zach Sears have pulled away just a little bit from Dave O and Kute Dow, as they're now 3 wide yet again going into turns number 1 and 2. Looks like Sam Chapman, maybe? No, not Sam Chapman. Taking it all the way up to the outside lane. He's going to form that third lane. And Wes, nobody's home. I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. He's going to lose all of those positions on that outside lane. He's going to be looking outside the top 15.
You've been knocking, but you can't come in. You've been knocking, but you can't come in.
This door's closed, Densley. But the profile engineering entry is going to stay right up the middle. As Newman leads them, 3 to go as they cross the line. Look at this. There was a time where the outside lane was the way to be now, Dylan, and now the bottom is carrying the momentum.
Yeah, if you look, Wes, the bottom lane is a lot more organized than the top lane, a lot more staggering up on that outside lane. Everybody's not connected the way that they need to be. The bottom lane, nice and straight, giving each other room when they need to. A little bit of a bump there from Dave O to the back of Zach Sears. But look how much distance Dave O is giving the 342. You can't push the pusher. We have seen it time and time again. Dave O is going to give him a nice little tap. The tap's going to go transfer from the 342 to the 1. And they're going to have this inside lane rolling the way that it needs to be. don't see these three drivers trying to make in any type of racing for stage number one. Three wide racing towards the back, but still single file for the top four as everybody's still trying to get their bearings together, trying to finish stage number one on a good note. They're going green all the way in and through. 2 laps to go. Down the Alabama super stretch on the back stretch is Brad Newman, still your race leader. You can see the EKG graph that you see down there on the bottom right of your screen. Currently, the P1 for Brad Newman. Truck number one, sitting P1. It's got a nice little ring to it, doesn't it, Wesley?
It does. And obviously, this man is no stranger to the farmhouse. He loves. Oh, we got trouble in the tribal, guys. Trouble again in the grass. A couple of trucks have crashed. A big number. Scott Rankin involved. Jaden Green and more. It just got a glimpse of it. And this will also call for the end of the stage. So Brad Newman's going to win stage number one. But we got a parking lot again here in the infield and in the tri-oval coming off of just shy of the start-finish line is what I was going to say, Dylan. Wow.
Yeah, just before we were getting ready to take the white flag for the end of the stage here of stage number one, we're going to get a nice little look here and just a little bit of a ping-pong pitter-patter. Let's get out of here. You can see it, parking lot off of the tri-oval and everybody getting involved. Scott Rankin, one of those drivers involved, and everybody just trying to stop, get around it, do what they need to do. I believe it started right up here. Did Aaron? Oh, yeah. Aaron Dorman got a side bump from the truck on his inside, and that kind of carried over into everybody. You see the 2 Vermilion Esports drivers getting involved. They had nothing to do with it, but with it being Talladega and all the smoke and with how wide this track is, Wes, it is amazing how quick and clogged the tri-oval, the straightaway, the turns all get with one little minuscule move from
Watch this. Rankin, man.
accident.
Look at this. I mean, looked like the 22 pushed Aaron Dorman, and then Rankin went straight nose into the wall. There goes Ethan Winter. Brad Newman is going to win the stage, everybody, obviously, as we will count this as being the caution to end the stage break. Look at this. There's a 22. Is that Bleakley? I think it is. Yeah, Bleakley and the Dorman, and then they come back up, slam into Ethan Winter. Other trucks, man, what a hit for Scott Rankin in the 59 entry, man. We can go back and show a replay for him. What a save for Bleakley to lock it up and save it. Watch this. No, Brad Newman didn't crash. He didn't crash.
Everybody zagged when they should have zigged. They were feeling like a bald eagle. I believe they might be waiting for the pace truck here, so everybody's going to, everybody's going to be coming for that. But, you know, right here, when Bleakley goes up the racetrack, Wes, it just creates chaos. And I'm not sure if I wouldn't even know what to call it. I mean, maybe not realizing how far up you're going up the racetrack to collect it. And I don't know about you, but it looks like fighter jets are letting out some smoke with that chopper angle. But get another look here. You can see Bleakley goes up to the second lane, grabs Dorman getting tagged, Scott Rankin, Ethan Winter, both Vermilion Esports drivers, and then Bleakley getting put down to the inside wall, some Project 36 trucks, some Nitro trucks. Just a lot to unpack with the end of stage number one, as Brad Newman was able to come away with stage one win.
You're exactly right. And obviously for Brad Newman, did exactly what he needed to do, right? He put himself in a predicament where he needed to stay up in front and hold on to his position. He's done that. And, I don't think we're done crashing here, Dylan. I mean, guys, Now we're 20 laps into this, and I feel like these are the crashes you would see at the end of the race. There's still under 70 laps to go here. I mean,
Yeah, you know, with all the crashes that we've seen here tonight, that just reminds me of the infamous Tony Stewart interview. If you're not wrecking more than 14 cars, then what are you paying to see?
yeah, very
But
true.
luckily, we don't have to pay for the damages, right? You know, iRacing gives us where we don't have to pay for any damages, don't have to pay for the tire usage, don't really have to pay for anything except for the service. But so far, a lot of racing left to go. Like you said, Wes, 70 laps, well, 68 laps of racing left here at Talladega. And we started with 38 trucks, and we're probably down to 34, 33 trucks left on the field as the Wrench Wranglers list just keeps getting longer and longer as we go.
One of our guests tonight is our buddy that works with me on the Tuesday series for X. He is a pit reporter giving us stories of what's going on, and we'll check in with him periodically. Let's go down and check in with him. This pit report is presented by CT Electrical as we get ready for a restart. Nigel Sedale, can you give us an update on the consensus of repairs, trucks that are out, and you're taking the first opening stage? It's been chaotic.
Very chaotic. Good evening, everyone watching out there. Also, too, if you're out there in the chat, just tell us where you're watching from. We'd always like to know where we are broadcasting to all around the world. Jason Holdsworth's out for the race with he's done for the night. Angus Lawford's done. I think Aaron Dorman is going to struggle for the rest of the race, and so is Chris Bleakley. We'll go back to the restart.
Restart on tap as Matt Danson down on the inside. Dave O on the outside, going to lead these drivers back to the green flag. Across the start finish line is going to be a dead heat for the top two. Project 36 in Nitro in the second row, but it's going to be Dave O possibly getting around Matt Dancy Dance down on that inside lane. Might be able to get down in front of the number 30 machine and keep the 311. But here comes Bad Brad. He doesn't want to wait any longer. And now, Dave-O from the middle to the top. Doing that high, wide, and handsome. As now you got Dave-O, Brad Newman, and Josh Micklemore all in a line. They're going to go back down to the middle lane and possibly all the way down to the inside.
And look at Dave-O now. He's got Newman right behind him as they work their way now back down into the tri-oval. And we're not, look at this, guys. They're going right back 3 wide again, at least behind the top 4. Dave-O now looking for win number 3 of the season. He did win last week. Right now, the driver for Nitro leads over Newman, Stage 1 winner, as they work off of turn 2.
Yeah, Stage 1 winner trying to get back up to the front. You can see not a lot of 3 wide racing going on. There's a couple of trucks being stuck, forced in the middle. But not what we've seen like we did in stage number 1. They're kind of fizzling out just a little bit. They're like, hey, you know what? We understand the assignment. We need to start being a little bit more prepared on what these trucks are going to do. A big update for these trucks during the season 1 build of the NASCAR side of things. These trucks are going to get a little bit more looser. They're more aero dependent than they were a season ago. So a lot of these drivers finally getting a taste of what iRacing is going to give these guys in the truck with the dirty air effect, as everybody down on the inside. And now here comes Keith Hackney involved in that first wreck. As hold on, wait a minute. Is that Wes?
You're damn right. Wesley, that is Wesley. That is my new venture. I gotta lose some weight. Kung Fu this. Kung Fu Wesley. Yes. There you go. What do you think?
Kermit the Frog getting a little jealous there of Wesley.
I didn't got a black belt. I got a black belt. Go ahead and say that again, Dean, while you're at it. Look at it. Do not test the teeth. Minded by the strong grasshopper. In the word Kermit, grasshopper. Here you go. Oh, yeah, Miss Piggy's loving it. Look at that. I kicked Kermit in half. Look at that right there. Look at it.
If anybody wants to
out, Dylan.
see
He found out.
great paint schemes, Keith Hackney every week never ceases to amaze me with what kind of paint scheme he's going to show up with on a Thursday night here in the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. Also, if you guys are out there watching on the YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Purple app, make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe to everything that Highline HQ and Highline has to offer. As if you guys don't make sure to hit the bell, turn on all notifications so you guys don't miss anything that Highline HQ has to offer each and every single week, as busy weeks coming up, as gearing down towards the playoff race. 4 races left after tonight, a road course, a mile and a half, a mile, and almost a little bit over a 2-mile racetrack in Pocono. The Tricky Triangle going to cap off the regular season.
As Dave-O continues to hold on to the top spot, Newman in second. And now look at Nitro. And look at Miss Piggy. Yeah, that's Miss Piggy on the beach. While I'm fighting Kermit.
Wesley, you're my hero. Wesley, you're my hero.
That's right. I want some pork with chicken salt.
Always going to be fun up here in the broadcast booth, no matter which way you look at it. As you look at it here, everybody migrated from the bottom to the middle lane. Not sure if that's a strategic move there or trying to keep everybody in line, staying in focus where they need to go. But going down the backstretch, West, we get a little bit of a sunshine on a cloudy day. And then down the front stretch into turns number 1 and 2, it's all shade covered. So more 3 wide. I'm going to see maybe possibly 4 wide racing towards the back here. Is a Project 36 machine stuck in the middle. Tom Freer with Dave Douglas right behind him. He's going to move it down to the inside. Blaine Densley, the pole sitter, he's going to be stuck 3 wide with Barber right behind him, giving him a nice little shove, but not going to be able to get clear of the 2 trucks on the outside.
Look at Chooch there. He's up the middle. You got the Chooch, baby. Look at this 3 wide. It's Beaumont. Oh, boy. Right behind the back of Barber. Come on, man. Be nice, guys. Look at this. I mean, it's a 3-truck tandem, and it looks like a train wreck.
Yeah, he is not lifting off the back bumper. He's finally going to his. He actually did that kind of perfectly with there, Wes. He got him back up there with the first pack. They were able to keep it all straight, keep it clean and green. Now coming up to lap number 10 of 30 of the second stage, and already everybody getting a little bit more spicier than they were in the first stage. Is the 3 wide racing all the way in and through the pack, but the top, well, I would say 12-ish cars all on a single file line, and then you got double file all the way through the rest of the pack, but the pack's already splitting up to 2 to 3 different packs all the way in and through, but it's still Dave-O and Brad Newman with the race lead in the second place, with Josh Micklemore making his appearance in P number 3.
Man, I'm loving the rumble of these trucks. They're flying around here. They're making great laps. What a show they're putting on, and we're not done yet. This is a much calmer, by the way, Dylan, stage number 2. I don't want to jinx it, but it is for the time being right now.
Yeah, it's not about where you want to be. It's about where you need to be at the right time, at the right place. And being involved in those wrecks early, like Keith Hackney and a lot of other people in this race, for them to get all that damage fixed and be running where they are now, that says a lot about what you can do with a lot of damage on the back of the truck, the side of the truck, the front of the truck, wherever it could be, as looking at the EKG graph of Josh Micklemore. It's up and down, but now currently sitting P number 3, and it's been staying there ever since, as working lap number 12 of 30, and he's content on pushing Brad Newman, staying right behind the top 2. Doesn't want to get left out to dry on that outside, but I could see possibly, maybe, if people start eyeing up runs on that outside, I could see Josh Micklemore going to block that outside run.
Are you trying to say Micklemore?
Micklemore.
Nigel, back down to you on the pit lane for an update from CT Electrical. Any stories developing as we're heading to the midway point of stage 2 here?
Few stories that are starting to develop in the race at the moment. The leaders can do about 30 to 32 laps on a tank. The guys in the pack can do between 34 to 36 laps for their tank of fuel. So there'll be something to watch out for, especially close to the end of this stage. Also, too, talking to some in the crowd just before, they're all wondering if Brad Newman gets into the top 3 tonight, what response is he going to have for his team from Tuesday night after the setup of tractors?
There are Rams. Yeah, I got my. Yeah, leave me alone.
Well, you know what?
I was trying to talk about Ram trucks, and I had Xfinity on the brain, and I said Ram. And the Ram trucks aren't here. I only see the one in the lineup. That's just one truck. Keith Hackney, my truck, Kung Fu truck, Kung Fu Hackney right there, baby, the Georgia boy.
Keith Hackney is always going to be in that Ram truck for you there, Wes. Going to show you a nice little proud moment there in that Ram truck, and everybody else in the Toyotas, the Chevys, the Fords, whatever it can be, as we get a nice little glow up of Wes Outland, giving us a nice little look, and Kermit saying, "Help me."
You better tell him not to mess with me. I'll give you tunnel vision. Hey, look, it's all fun and games. If you remember Sunday night, Dylan, I posted a picture where I was working out doing Kung Fu, and they took that picture, and then they said, well, we got a surprise for you. So I kind of already knew it was in the works, but I just didn't know what the final product was going to be. So there you go. Come on, get down there. Get in, fight him. They're teammates, though.
Yeah, Keith Hackney, you're looking out to the outside and not going to be able to get there. Is he going to be left out to dry? No. Looks like Zach Sears going to let him come back in line, but now we're going to have lap traffic be a factor. Is 2 wides behind the top 5, and now Keith Hackney jumps to the outside lane. He's going to be able to get around Josh Micklemore. And now he's going to try to battle Brad Newman, and Dave O for the race lead. The driver being involved on lap number 3 incident, he's going to try to take it away. And no, Bad Brad says, you know what? I'm going to see that run. I'm going to try to make it happen. And that opens up for him to go down to the inside as we have another caution on lap 34.
Bottom of the apron, down between 3 and 4, coming down below the racetrack. Jacob O'Reilly, Riley Curtis, well involved. Beaumont and others caution out here. That's Zach Kerr, by the way. Zach Kerr's pulling away. Watch this. Look at this, guys. Oh, no. Looks like he bounced off Chapman. Chapman held his on, and then it blocked the path here. O'Reilly, Beaumont, Danson on the bottom, and I don't mean Danson, D-I-N-C-I-N-G. Matt Danson below. O'Reilly back up the hill. Dave Douglas below. Another modified truck right here, Dylan. Wow.
You know what? Look at the checkup on that outside. Jacob O'Reilly. Little bit of a checkup on the outside, trying to get everybody back in line. It's going to send him down to the inside, and man, Riley Curtis getting involved. Shane Bowen, just a couple of them. You can see how quickly they catch them. And then with Keith Hackney and Brad Newman going from top to bottom, that's going to check up the outside. And Vermilion Esports drivers getting involved. Riley Curtis, Kute Dalla, I believe he's going to be able to make it through. And I think Matt Danson was just trying to make it into pit road. I don't know. Might be something different. But Matt Danson said, "Okay, good luck, everybody. I turn left now." As Matt Danson really did get turned left, he's going to be doing a nice little pirouette. Going to get it straightened back up, go through the grass. Not a lot of damage on that number 30 machine.
We're looking at it again. Another look. Tough break, man, for these guys. Wow. Man.
Oh, man, you want to talk about a close call with Matt Danson? Matt Danson threw up the peace sign like, "Hey, buddy." He's going to go take it through the grass. And, you know, with how hard Matt Danson got hit there, Wes, he got lucky with not getting any more damage than what he did. I mean, just that one little kerpow to the back bumper. Able to do a nice little 360, get it back going, and misses the rest of the carnage.
Down the pit lane, CT Electrical pit report. Back down to Nigel.
A lot of cars down pit road, guys. So far, there's over 20 cars down pit road to get either damage fixed or put some new tyres on them at the stage with only 12 laps to go on this stage. I don't think there's any advantage of these guys going down there for anything to do with strategy. I think you're better off staying out. I think a lot of these cars that are down in pit road are trying to get as much damage as they can fixed. Jacob O'Reilly, massive damage on that car, and also Scott Rankin as well. Also, we look at the other cars that got damage, is the other Fitzroy Beaumont, Tyler Williams. I've got some major damage on there as well. Also, Ethan Winter and Ben Faulkner.
There you go. By the way, that pit report presented by CT Electrical. If you'd like to know more, go on Facebook to CT Electrical Bathurst. Give them a like and a follow. And if you do, get their business and tell them that you heard about them. Thanks to Australian NASCAR on Highline. Scott Rankin, Dylan, is going to get the lucky dog and or the free pass. We don't call it lucky dog anymore. It's called a free pass. He will get the free pass, but remember, he was crashed earlier, man. Remember, nose first into the wall. This guy's right back in the game again.
Yeah, you know, being nose first in the wall, hopefully he was able to get all the damage fixed down in the pit lane and be able to be up to speed with the rest of these drivers. A lot of drivers involved in a lot of wrecks. We didn't have one big one. We've had about 4 of them so far. So once we've seen the first big one, we knew they could only get bigger until they can only get smaller. But it's going to be Dave-O with the race lead. Keith Hackney, Ryan Newman, Brad Newman in a second. Third is going to be Keith Hackney. Fourth is going to be Josh Micklemore. Fifth is going to be Sam Chapman, Zach Sears in sixth. Seventh, Blaine Dinsley. Tom Freer in eighth. Barber in ninth. And Kute Dalla going to be running out your top 10. So a lot of different drivers in the top 10.
Gary Wellman, 11th. Dave Douglas, 12th. Jared Gilbert, 13th. Jaden Green, 14th. Brandon Griffiths back in 15th. Ben Henniker, Aaron Borg, Andy Barber, Adam Craig, Timo Blundell right now, the top 20 as we'll get ready to set up for a restart. There are still 33 trucks on the lead lap. There you go.
Most impressive.
38 trucks took 38 trucks answered the call to take the green flag. Like you heard Wesley say, 33 still on the race lead lap. A couple drivers have
even
put
after
it
all
up.
the crashes. Even after all the crashes, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean it's super incredible that a lot of these drivers are still out there racing, especially with how hard they have been hitting the walls, hitting the other drivers, trying to do their best impressions of NASCAR drivers in the real world, trying to draw out their aggression towards one another, but still doing what they need to do. Getting the end of the stage coming up here, lap number 39. As stage 2 going to be winding down here, getting ready to go through the restart zone once again is going to be Dave-O. On the inside, Brad Newman on the outside. Then row number 2 is going to be 2 Nitro drivers with Keith Hackney and Josh Micklemore. So everybody trying to do what they need to do. Bottom lane, going to get the better jump on the field. Dave-O going to jump up to the outside, help Brad Newman and Keith Hackney to the race point here as Dave-O chops it down right behind Keith Hackney. Not a lot of room for error there as Brad Newman gets left out to dry, but he's going to be able to get down in line. He's going to settle into P number 5.
Remember, there's still another 10 laps to go here in stage number 2. Hackney thunders down the back straightaway. That Dodge Ram in front. Working with Oljanzak. That's a teammate, by the way. Or Nitro right there. And yeah, he's got Wesley on the truck. Here's Micklemore, Newman, and Dinsley right now the top 5. Newman trying to get back up here as they work their way, coming out of 4. In to go in stage 2 at Talladega.
Yeah, you can see there, everybody who just wants to get in a straight, single file line, kind of race it out, see what can happen. As Hackney getting a little bit of a tunnel vision right now, being in the lead as of right now. But you got Dave-O in second, Zach Sears in third. Another little bit of history for a lot of these people out here that are watching. We have a driver in the field that's going to be Brad Newman, looking to search for win number 17 in his career for the Truck Series. So he'll be the first driver to reach 17 wins in the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. He's trying to get to 20. And then there's other drivers out there on the field trying to get double digits. They want to be like Brad, kind of be like Mike, but they got to be like Brad. Brad is the all-time winningest driver in the Australian NASCAR Truck Series. So Brad looking for win at number 17 as we have another caution.
Turn 2, Gary Wellman gets turned in the wrong direction. Shane Bowman, Scott Rankin just got a free pass. He's collected again. Ethan Winter. All pulling away and caution out again. Wow. Wellman into the 39 of Winter, and then of course there you see these other trucks now scatter into the wall there, and it did show. Yeah, Rankin dropped down below the bottom of the racetrack right here. Just got missed by the 26. There you see him flying by. Other trucks just bobbing, weaving the miss. And Dylan, another multi-truck accident here as we're under single digits in stage 2.
Yeah, going to look at the offset bump on a Gary Wellman. I'm going to go down and collect Ethan Winter in that number 39 machine. You know, if they had a button for how many wrecks you can be involved in and not have a lot of damage and still be competitive, I think Ethan Winter would win this bet. As Ethan Winter has been bouncing around like a pinball down there on the racetrack and still has been fairly competitive. As man, Shane Bowen got the brunt of all that damage. Is he's going to be able to get that number 38 machine stopped, get it flung back around, and get it down into pit lane. As we take another look on board with the number 38, He's going to check up just a little bit, move up, but not fast enough. The 26 going to give him a shot to the shadow realm. 26 is going to get turned around as well as if anybody wants any memorabilia, if you see it sliding around on the racetrack, go on down to the number 38 Machines pit box. Get it signed by Shane Bowen for one price of $19.99, 4 installments. Okay, you can get a little piece of race memorabilia from the number 38 machine as Ethan Winter. Get a nice little look on him. He's going to go ahead and do a nice little 360 Rockford. Get that truck turned back around. Kept it off the wall. Amazing keeping it off the wall.
Another look at it again. Zach Blundell. Wow. Oh, boy. Nowhere to go for him. Up in the air. Slammed off where Zach Kerr crashed. 38 around as well. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Like the great 80s song. Where do you go? Yep. I want to know. Let's check in on pit road. We're going to go to pit road. Nigel Sedell. Nigel, what's going on with these guys as we near the end of stage 2? Some guys are pitting, some aren't. Nigel's getting stories. Never mind. Nigel Sedell is getting stories. My apologies. He is getting us updates. There you go. Dylan McDonald's got his mic off. He stepped away. Nigel, look for the X-rated pit board. No, wrong series. I'm sorry. There you go. Merle. How about all them satellite dishes, man? There's a lot of yeah. What are y'all watching? That's all I'm gonna say. What are y'all watching on pit road? It is literally. Look at how graphic. Look at how Dean's camera like zooms right in on all of it. Look at it. You can literally see the direct TV.
They're down there watching Days of Thunder. Everybody's down there watching Days of Thunder, trying to be like Cole Trickle.
No. They're down there watching Talladega Nights. Come on, man. I mean, you gotta at least cross-reference Talladega Nights to Talladega Superspeedway, right? I mean,
yeah.
Feel like I'm in Highlander.
Now you see me, now you don't. The Magic Man
would allow you to beat me. No. Because today, even though I am friendly, tomorrow I will be your sworn enemy. Man, I feel like I'm in Highlander. What is the Highlander? I don't know what this Highlander is. It's like one of the greatest movies ever.
Hey, driver! Drive these!
Please be 18. Oh. Some of the great quotes from Talladega. Yeah.
That just happened.
What is this shake and bake? It's nonsense. I'm the Magic Man. Now you see me. Now you don't. There it is. Nitro working together. Nitro 3. They're all up there, yeah. Nitro. It was Nitro. And by the way, did y'all see the picture that was posted by Lobs Esports in regards to Brad Newman in his truck race or his car at Auto Club this past? Did you see it? Auto Club this past Tuesday night. See the picture. Nigel sent it to me, and I busted out laughing. I loved it.
I did not.
Let me find it, man. I gotta go back into my history. There it is. Stand by, Dylan. Stand by, Dean. Wait till you see this thing. It reminds me of like tractor tipping's fun. That's all I'm gonna say. Dave Douglas messaged me and he says, "Have I got my package yet?" I haven't. I'm waiting. Maybe it's at the post office. Maybe I've got a sign for it. I don't know. Chicken salt time whenever I get it. I'm gonna tell you what. It's like Frank Red Hot to the U.S. I put that on everything. Chicken salt. They're like, brother, God, tell me some more. I just Nigel want to get paid in chicken salt from now on. I'm just messing. Hey, Nigel, I'm glad you're back. You got any updates for us on what happened on pit road? We're at the end of stage 2.
Fortunately, I don't. I was too busy doing my hair and makeup for stage 3 and signing autographs for the fans.
There you go. I'm about to say, okay, at least you said you need a good body. You know. My name is Glacia. All right, Dylan. Close it in, 4 to go. Hackney in front. And look at them already going right back 4-3 wide again in the back. But right now it is Hackney leading up to the file going into turn 3.
Yeah, already single file for the first 8-9 cars, and you're going to get back to double file racing throughout the rest of the pack. And then towards the back of the pack, we got 3-wide racing once again, as it's getting a little bit tight for the 3-wide racing. There's not a lot of room for error, as you see the 2 Vortex trucks being single file in the middle, leaving the Project 36 entry out to drive Scott Rankin. Right behind Ethan Winter, using that middle lane to his advantage, and then the Project 36 all by himself on that outside lane. He's going to be able to have the hole opened up. Now he's going to be back in line, so now we're back down to 2-wide racing, able to get down to 2-wide racing. But with those drivers doing that 3-wide racing, Wes, look how much of a gap they got between them and the first pack. It's all going to come down now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, Wes. If these guys can get lined up and get those speeds going up, we could have a nice little battle for the stage win up here.
What goes up must come down. Keep an eye on him, and we're 3 wide again. Look at Project 36. Griffith up the middle. Right behind it, right behind that truck, the 24 of green. Here's a new Project 36 member. And 2 to go. Final lap. Battle. Hackney in front. How long though? They're single file. They're possums.
Yeah, Keith Hackney still with the race lead. A little bit of a bad bump there. Both Zach Sears and Keith Hackney going to move up the racetrack just a little bit. They're going to be able to get down back to the inside. Get ready to come up and lap the number 26 machine, as he's going to go another lap down, but it's all Keith Hackney with the race lead as of right now. Big gap between the first 12 or 13 cars, and then you got the second group, as everybody going to try it. And here comes Brad Newman to the outside all by himself. Nobody's going to follow, as Josh McElmore going to be able to get that pass done. Kute Dow going to be able to get that pass done, as you got 5 Nitro drivers lined up nose to tail down on that inside lane. Kute Dow, but it's going to be Keith Hackney coming around to take stage win number 2, and just adding on to more of those points for that number 6 machine.
Real quickly, let's go back down to pit lane. Nigel Siddell, this update on the pits presented by CT Electrical. What you got, Nigel?
I was just going to say then, guys, that the rest of the teams need to take a little bit of notice. There were 7 to 8 nitro cars in the top 10 then, starting to break away from the field. So that's one thing that these other teams are going to start looking at, is they're got to try to keep these nitro guys back in the pack. So watch what's going to happen on the third restart or the final restart in stage 3. Some of the crew chiefs and other teams are already starting to work out what they're going to do on pit road in adjustments to start off stage 3.
Friends, you got to have them. Friends, you got to need them. And teammates as
We
well.
got friends in low places. Oh, sorry.
Dean, did you get that picture yet? Nigel, can you give us more of a description of this picture that we're about to post on the broadcast screen? I know we were kind of told that this was possibly going to be sent by Lobs Esports in reference of what happened Tuesday at Auto Club, but here it is, man. I laughed my ass off because this is hilarious. Look at this. You got Brad Newman in a Formula One car. Shane Van Gisbergen is in the front end loader, right? And so is the other guy, Jared Filsell.
I think there was a little bit of a ditch up there from what Jared said, who finished third in the end, was saying in his race that both him and Shane were set up with different setups than what Brad was running. So interesting to see what happens here tonight. If Brad gets to the top 3 and we get to interview him, we can maybe clear the record straight once and for all. But yeah, absolute funny photo, and it's always good to see these photos that Lobs do. They do it every week in their Facebook, and it's great to see.
Dylan, in the words of the guy Sarge from Cars, it's a conspiracy, man.
I was
a bunch of lies, man.
I was just getting ready to say, there's Frank.
And Van Gisbergen felt on Tuesday night about their teammate.
I was just getting ready to say, there's Frank.
There's Frank. There's Frank.
That's happening, guys.
I figured you would have called up when I said tractor tipping's fun, so you kind of caught the reference to it, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Is everybody down pit road getting the second to last pit stop for the race.
I don't think this is the money stop just yet. We got under 40 laps to go, and let's go back down to Nigel Siddell. Pit stops presented by CT Electrical. What you got?
Everyone's down pit road. Everyone's going to fill up. But what do you do here, though? It's still going to be 30 laps to a tank, so there's still going to be 10 laps short somewhere. Do you short fuel now? There's going to be one thing everyone's going to start to watch, I think, around lap 65. Who does come with their teams and sneaks down into the pits is something we'll all have to watch out for coming into stage 3.
So drivers pitting. Look at this. Look who just come back out first. Aaron Borg, Sim Motion number 43.
Wesley, just one other thing too. Just on that, one other thing to remember. First through to 8th in stage number 2 were all nitro cars. So there'll be one thing to watch out for in this stage 2. When will they, if they get together, what's going to happen with the pack? Will they break the pack away? Will they come in early? They'll be one. Every crew chief will be watching what these guys do, especially coming into around in that window of opportunity to make it to the end.
I mean, I think the teammates' philosophy is great for Team Nitro, but Dylan, I think it's what Nigel just said, is we move down to the final stage for the finish. I don't want to say they're going to turn on each other, but it is going to be every driver for themselves.
I mean, yes, they're all teammates. I can see them all pitting together just to keep them all within a race to the checkered flag. The teammates goes off once you take that white flag. Once it comes white flag, it's every man for himself. I'm not going to say they're going to rank each other to get the race win, but they're going to do anything, any means necessary to get a race win. They're not going to dump each other. They're not going to do anything. They're going to bump and beat and bang the way that NASCAR gave us the fenders to do. It's not like Formula One. We can use fenders in NASCAR, but they're going to do what they need to do to make the finish as exciting as the first stage was in the second stage. So if they can choreograph it to where they can get into pit lane flawlessly, staggering each other, one goes down the inside wall, one in the middle, one to the outside, and then form a nice solid line into pit lane, get in and out of their pit boxes quickly and as flawless as they can be, those top 8 definitely going to be the ones to watch after pit road. And that's what I was saying, Wes. Ethan Winter, over 4 minutes of damage. As Dean was relaying us the details, Ethan Winter, over 4 minutes of damage, currently sitting P number 5 on the field. So,
just one other thing before we start for everyone in at home. We've got the teams, always the one thing that comes into play on Super Speedway. So we've got all of these nitro cars. We've got Sears, Davo, Hackney, Mickelmore, Kute Dow, Dave Douglas. But then we've also then got the Vortex guys of Scott Rankin, Tyler Williams, and Ethan Winter will start working together. Then you've got the team of Vermilion as well that will start working together, the team of Project 36. This becomes probably a very big team race as of now, coming now with 35 to go. So we'll just see which team can work the best and who can work together and see who can come out in victory lane.
yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those things where you got to find your teammates where you can make them, but it's still going to be a stout field of trucks all the way in through. Pace truck getting ready to take the hard left into pit lane. Driver's going to grab those belts one more time, pull them all tight, make sure everything's good to go. Get ready to go into the restart zone. Aaron Borg as Zach Sears going to lead these drivers to the green flag for the start of stage number 3. Aaron Borg, beautiful jump down on that inside. He's going to be able to get clear of Zach Sears. Keith Hackney might be able to do the same thing, but not going to be all over the back bumper of Aaron Borg. That's going to allow the outside lane to get a nice little charge as Dave O, Josh Mickelmore, and Zach Sears. But there it goes. Keith Hackney says, you know what? I got to go where my teammates are. That's to the top. Now you got Nitro on the top, and then you got Vortex down on the inside with Ethan Winter all over that Sim Motion number 43. Going to push him down the backstretch with Kute Dow and down on that inside. Now he's going to jump up to that outside. Now you got all Nitro lined up in a row on that outside. A little bit of teamwork for a lot of these Nitro drivers. As Brad Newman says, you know what? I'm not following. I'm going to push it 3 wide through the middle. Move of Brad Newman towards the front.
And already back to that 3 wide racing again as they work down with Newman up in the middle. Hackney up in front. Sears right behind him. That's a new name that we really haven't talked about until tonight. Solid run for that Nitro driver in the number 2 spot. Dave Olgie and Zach Hackney, the only multi-winners of the series. And right now, they're on the back stretch with Hackney leading them on into turn 2.
Yeah, Keith Hackney, dominating performance, winning Daytona, coming back to win in the next race at Atlanta, and then his 3rd race win coming at Las Vegas. Davo winning Auto Club and Darlington, those 2 tracks, and then Griffith Gardner winning at Long Beach with the only other winner of the season. As you can see it, everybody trying to jockey for whatever position that they can get, trying to get these Nitro drivers split up just a little bit, trying to get a truck in between each and every one of them, but not going to be able to be the case as they're all along the inside lane. A couple of them kind of straggling along, but it's all Keith Hackney, Zach Sears, Dave O, Josh Mickelmore, Dave Douglas, and Aaron Borg in your top 6.
I think there's also 2 guys will also have to recognise how fast these Nitro guys really are. They're 0.4 of a second lead behind, in front of where the pack is in behind them now. So these guys are all hooked up, ready together. You just have to watch those 5 trucks are all now hooked up. Can anyone get to them at this stage? I don't think they can. They've broken the pack, and it's going to take something special to get past them now.
Yeah, Aaron Borg
Wow.
led that position very nicely. Brad Newman thought better of it, said, you know what, everybody else left me out to dry. Aaron Borg, I'm not going to do you the same. I'm going to help push you to the front, but the outside lane, a lot more choreographed, better than the inside. And now the inside lane, getting more drivers as the outside is trying to do what they need to do to keep those drivers behind.
Coming through the tri-oval in start finish. Aaron Borg, and and here we go. Nitro down to the bottom. Trying to get that second lane formed. They're trying to behind the leaders. Guys, I just want to say something. I hope that they turn this into a highlight reel. Teamwork makes the dream work. I know these guys at the end are going to be fighting for the win, and I understand that, Dylan McDonald. But the way Team Nitro is working with one another, it is the equivalent of restrictor play and of team racing like you see in real life. We're seeing it with this Australian NASCAR truck event at Talladega. They're not getting greedy. Nobody's panicking. They're all staying up in front. They're waiting until it's time to jump out of line and fight for a win. Teamwork makes the dream work, and Nitro gets an A+ tonight in my book for what they've done.
Yeah, you know, the way that Nitro's racing here tonight, being linked up and being patient and letting the race come to them, it reminds me of the NASCAR game in 2006, Total Team Control. They're doing what they need to do. They're working together. They're choreographing which moves was going to be working the best. They're keeping each other calm in the race as it's going all the way in and through. And you got everybody else, Bad Brad, trying to find a way to get back up to get back to the front where he was the majority of the race. You got Trent Lavelle currently sitting in 11th. The man that was spinning, hit the outside wall, doing what he needed to do to try to stay out of as much damage as he possibly could. He's currently sitting 11th, not even a lap down. So Trent Lavelle trying to get himself up there, crack in the top 10. Currently sitting on the outside. Nobody currently behind the number 67 machine. Everybody's going to be a bottom feeder until green flag pit stops come alive. As you know, it's looking very body tight. As the short. Whoa! I did not see this coming.
This is money stop time, guys.
See this coming.
This is money stop time, I think. Let's go down to pit road. Nigel, undercut for a lot of these drivers. It's Nitro being ahead of everybody else.
And this was predicted during the stage 2 break. I did say this is going to be a short pit race.
Yellow.
Short pit race, you could do it. Oh, we got a yellow out. Yellow. Back to you guys.
This is going to work out perfectly, Dylan, for Team Nitro now.
Yeah, that man.
Brian Blundell has
man.
crashed, guys. Brian Blundell has crashed. Back straightaway, turn 2.
Trent Lavelle is involved with it too. He's upside down.
Oh my goodness, look at this. And Trent Lavelle is airborne too. Oh, wow.
In shades of Ricky Bobby. Oh no, I'm in the air. This is not good.
He tried to fly and he thought he could touch the sky, but didn't quite get there.
Brian Blundell and Trent Lavelle airborne. Watch this, guys. There it is. Project 36, Brad Newman. And look at Dinsley turn the 67. Probably one of the wildest flips we have seen so far this year in the Australian NASCAR Series. The way this just happened for Lavelle.
Getting any good peaks there, Pretty City Boy? And we're going to go ahead and take another look on the onboard of the number 67. Brad Newman's going to get all the way, go up towards the top. He's going to tag the driver on his outside, which is going to come down, tag Trey Lavelle, and Trey Lavelle was just minding his own business. And Trey Lavelle, the CT Electrical Bathurst machine, getting involved as you're going to get another look here. Brad Newman, goes up, gets into, is that Chooch?
Yeah, that's Griffiths. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Oh, boy. Wow. But back to the other story at hand. Nigel, back down to you because you were kind of talking about this, about Team Nitro, and then the caution come out. There was a strategy by the Nitro team to all pit together, and they're totally off sequence than anybody else.
Well, you can get roughly the 30 to 35 laps out of a tank of fuel here. So coming down as soon as that lap 60 mark came down, they thought they could split the pack a little bit and come down early. But I think that's now gone out the window. All those cars will stay out. These guys will all go back to the back of the field. But then the restart will come in handy, though, because if all those Nitro trucks are lined up, they'll be able to dictate all 3 lanes if this goes 3 wide.
Another thing, Nigel, that could play into factor is with them going down into pit lane with 30 laps to go. Like you said right before we started stage number 3, the final stage, 30 to 32 laps if you're leading the pack, 34 to 36 laps if you're in the pack. That caution coming out played a major factor for the Team Nitro guys going down into pit lane that early. With them coming out of pit lane, they can hurry up, shift it up to 4th gear, and just coast to catch the rest of the pack. So those drivers should be able to make it, whether we have more cautions or if it goes green. But I could see a little bit of teammate strategies. Like, let's say Keith Hackney's in the lead position, and he's burning the most amount of fuel because he's going to be He's going to be pegged full throttle all the way in and through. I could see Keith Hackney moving up to the top, letting a couple drivers go by, opening up a hole, putting Keith Hackney in the middle of the pack, let him save enough fuel to where he can make it, and they're just going to keep kind of moving around. So you're going to see a couple different leaders throughout the rest of this 44-lap race.
Well, the thing is, I think too, guys, is from pit road, and to be honest, I haven't spoken to anyone tonight. I've been in the booth with you guys, so I don't know anyone's strategies at all, but all I can think of right now is that these guys have got enough for 2 green-white checkers. If this is get a 3rd one, I think these guys may be in trouble. That'll be something to look forward later on in the run, but we'll see what happens on this restart if they start blocking lanes and holding the field up so they do have enough fuel for the end. That could be another strategy as well, but we're in for an interesting finish, and it's going to be a little sprint, 25 lap to the end.
Well, then, as we said, this worked out perfectly for these guys because bottom line, what just took place, and you saw it perfectly on the broadcast, Nitro teammate racing coming down to the pit lane. And then when they exited, they were all there with each other when the caution failed. So let me explain that to our audience, right? Sometimes, when the cautions come out, we mimic kind of what NASCAR does. So there's a caution, pit road closes immediately. But if they're on pit road, Dylan McDonald, and they're making pit stops, committed to making pit stops, it's fair game for them. And that is why the Nitro trucks, the teammates, are able to get back up to the front like they are.
Absolutely. Now, another thing that we could do, Wes, is let's say we go 15 laps, we have another caution. If you were the drivers that pit with 30 laps to go, exactly 30 laps to go, are you going to go down into pit lane, top off on fuel to go the 3 extended green-white checkers, or are you thinking track position is too precious, I need to stay up where I am?
Oh, I think for that one there, Wesley, sorry to butt in there from pit road, as I think that they're running, just before that caution came out, these Nitro trucks are running about 4/10 of a lap quicker than the rest of the field. So going back to the back may not be an option when all the nitro trucks need to be together to make that work. So they're going to go into probably a little bit of fuel saving mode, but it's just a lottery really. Like if they can get to the white flag, they don't need those green white checkers. So we're in for a great finish here.
Wow.
You always got to
Basically strap in, settle in. These guys are ready to go for the finish. They're ready to go the long haul here, Dylan.
Oh yeah, I mean, you kind of already made your bed now. You just gotta lie in it, and hopefully, it all goes to plan the way that it needs to. As a pace truck, gonna go down below that double yellow dotted line. Again, that yellow line for everybody out there watching, is not a passing zone. Those trucks go below that yellow line. They have to forfeit that position on the racetrack. That is out of bounds, like in golf and football. But green flag back out in the air. Davo going to get a nice jump on that inside lane. Keith Hackney going to be able to get the race lead. And here comes Josh Micklemore to the outside as well. A little bit of a gap between Davo and Keith Hackney trying to get Josh Micklemore down to the inside. Not going to be able to be the time to do it as Scott Rankin all over the back bumper of that number 31 machine. And I think right there, that could be a prime decision. Like, hey, let's back off a little bit. Let Josh get up here to the race lead and have him get down to the inside. As they're trying to choreograph it, you can see it there. They're trying to get it to where Josh Micklemore is able to get down into the inside, but not able to do it. Coming around to take 25 laps to go and already looking to make it 3 wide.
Acting. Powering back up in front again. Olgensack is there all right there in tow. Nose to tail, Nitro. Down below, there's Rankin. He wants to join this battle as they work out of turn 2. Guns are loaded. Out of the draft goes the 99. He shoves the 55 Akute down. It's opens up double lane right to golden 3.
Yeah, you seen that little bit of a shove by the number 99 of Tyler Williams, giving it to Kute Dow. That actually helped them out to get down to the inside lane quicker. So now all the Nitro guys back to 1 to 6th position as it sits right now. Keith Hackney still is your race leader. Dave O in 2nd. Zach Sears in 3rd. Dave Douglas in 4th. Micklemore 5th. Kute Dow 6th. 7th. Rankin 8th. Winter Danson in 9th. And Tom Freer now sitting in your top 10. And that outside lane is going absolutely nowhere. They're falling back towards the back of the pack. 3 wide racing, getting ready to go back down to 2 wide racing. A little bit of a bad bump there by one of the Project 36 machine. I believe that was Chooch all over the back bumper of the 38 of Shane Bowen. Able to save it. We're still green flag racing.
And somehow they do hold it together as they work down into the corner and tacking out up in that top spot. And not get anything organized. It was all discombobulated as they worked their way coming off the corner. Now they come back into the tri-oval. They'll have to reset fire and go again. Newman jumps out of line. You don't want to stay behind Barber. You look in front of the guys, the Freer and Danson, as they work back up into the corner into turn 1.
Yeah, Brad Newman is on go time as of right now. There is no waiting to get up there. Brad Newman wants to get up there towards the front. He wants to be a part of the conversation. Look at the long line of trucks in the front group, all in a choreographed line, the way that it needs to be. And the way that they're doing it, Wes, a couple of trucks are riding that yellow line, and then you're going to see a couple of trucks moving up half of a groove to get some clean air onto the truck in front of them and behind them. So keeping these trucks cool is the way that they need to go with only 22 laps to go coming around to take, 22 laps to go. And, it's all strategy right now.
The leader's up in front. He's got clean air. You don't have to worry about anything. It's everybody behind him. And that is where you got that dirty air, the air that's going to cause your trucks to overheat. But as Dylan mentioned, as you watch them veer out of line, but they still stay in tow, just moving that little half a nose left or right from the center of your truck in front of you or behind you, it allows air to get to the front of the spoilers and cool the truck down on the front valence. As right now, here they come again, down to the line. Watch this, and it normally works still in the lot going in the corner. Watch this, here we go. Now he'll decide to go top or bottom. This is behind the leader, and Dave-O is going to just decide, pull out of line here just a little bit, because if you stay too dead center, Dylan, you're going to overheat your engines here.
Yeah, you're looking about 290 to 300 degrees on the oil temp for the motor to go kaboom. As they're all still single file, top 7, all single file. Then you got a little bit of a breakaway, and then you got double file behind them. Tom Freer leading the outside charge in the second pack, as still Matt Danson down on the inside trying to get clear of him. You got Riley Curtis, the other Nitro entry, trying to get up there with his fellow teammates and stay out of trouble. But look how close, Wes, they are to one another in and through the corners. Riley Curtis getting a little bit loose as he's going to be able to save it, but there's not a lot of room for error when the side draft is this heavy going into the corners. I mean, there's not even half a truck distance between each truck going through these corners.
Matt Danson down below on the 30. As it is a nitro kind of show, something that I've really not seen in iRacing or esports competition in a very long time. It's the teamwork that we're watching. And now we're starting to see some of the other trucks that are not a part of Team Nitro now, Dylan, getting a little fed up, if you will, pardon the pun, and they want to spoil the Nitro party. All this going on now is we're under 20 to go. They're in turn 3.
Yeah, you just seen it there. Ethan Winter running that middle lane, keeping it up, keeping Tom Freer out of the draft. He wanted to stay right behind the number 59 of Scott Rankin. He did that perfectly, and that's going to help the inside lane pull away. As a big checkup there is everybody going to go ahead and go around as one truck through the grass coming up on the track. Caution flag may come out. Aaron Borg off the track, one truck away, as we're going to keep it green flag racing, but we're going to go ahead and cut to a quick replay, see exactly what happens to Aaron Borg, as everybody was there and then they weren't. Shane Bowen gets loose. Oh, he gets tagged by the Project 36. He's going to go cut through the grass and comes back up the racetrack. Yeah.
Let me say something. Props to the Australian NASCAR officials for not throwing a caution. There was absolutely no need for that. He lost it on his own. Yeah, he got burned, but he went down below the apron, came back up the track. Nobody was there. Keep it green. Thank you, guys. 15 to go now, or 16 to go at the line. We stay green. Sam Chapman on pit road.
He goes, got a black flag then for incident points there for the 101 of Sam Chapman. It's starting to look pretty glim for the rest of the field at the moment. These Nitro cars are starting to break away from the pack. They are roughly last lap about 2/10 quicker than the rest of the field. So if they get the draft, they can get out of there in their own draft and away from the rest. I think they can run away with this at the moment, guys.
Yeah, as they sit right now, everybody is single file. Racing as another one gets turned, and that's going to bring out a caution.
Shane Bowen, guys, spun coming off of turn number 4. He spins. This was in the racing group. Front 4 around. No choice but to throw a yellow flag, Dylan. And that is why we're under yellow now with 15 to go.
Yeah, let's see what happens to the number 38 machine. He's going to come down. Oh, gets tagged by Riley Curtis down on the inside. He was clear for the most part. And then right at the last minute, Riley Curtis was able to get his nose in there.
I think when you look at that, when you have a quick look at this here, what's got to happen here is that Shane in the 38 has to work out which lane he really wants to be in. That there was caused by intersight. Like, he couldn't work out which lane he wanted to be with. He was 1 minute you want to be up, 1 minute you got to be down. In these races, you got to make your lane changes as quick and as smooth as possible.
And you got to
You're
stick
right on
to
board
it.
here.
You got to stick to it, Nigel. You got to
100%
stick
you
to
do.
it. You start changing your mind, and this is what happens.
That's
The
right.
hesitation.
Riley had nowhere to go there. It was unfortunate for Shane Bowen, but he needs to, by watching that now, needs to work out which lane he wants to be in and stick to it. He will come on board here with the...
Yeah, look at this. Riley did nothing wrong. I mean, literally, it just... He's holding his line, Dylan McDonald. He is protected to the inside. He's holding his spot. You're going to have to move him out of the way. And obviously, that's what Shane Bowen did when he tried to cross over the front nose of his truck. Now, the $1 million question here, guys. Are they coming down pit road? Is Nitro going to come down pit road? Or are they content with where they're at? Oh, and let me throw something out too, Dylan. Racing under speed and being under caution, you can conserve a lot more fuel. So that can allow them to save to go the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to see a lot more takers towards the back going into pit lane, but all the Nitro guys going to stay out. And to reference back to that last caution, Shane Bowen went up to the top to help Matt Danson bring him along. Noticed that he wasn't going to have the big enough run to get back up to the back bumper of Shane Bowen. He made the little hesitation. Am I clear? Am I not clear? He knew he was clear, but he didn't get that truck all the way down to that double solid yellow line, which ended up resulting him into getting it turned off the nose of Riley Curtis. Riley Curtis blipped the throttle just a little bit to give him the opportunity to get down lower. But with the race winding down the way it is, I'm not lifting. If there's a hole, I'm going to take it. In the words of Brad Keselowski at Charlotte, if there's a hole, I'm going to take it. It's there for a reason. I'm going to make my nose appear on the inside of you, and that's exactly what we ended up seeing there. Riley Curtis got the position down to that inside, and Shane just kind of mirror driving and trying to watch out the front windshield all at the same time, and just got turned off the front nose of Riley Curtis. Talladega does not have lights.
No, Talladega only has lights on the front stretch where the towers and the suites are, but there is no light poles, if you will, around the racetrack at Talladega. They don't have lights. And I got to wonder, are they going to finish this thing? Can we show sim time, Dean? Can we see what time it is in the sim? I mean, it's got to be
5:41 p.m.
Wow, it's just cloudy. 5:41 in the afternoon, you would still think there'd be daylight. It's just very cloudy out here.
Race cars don't need headlights because the track is always lit. They're just stickers. Now all these Cars movies references that we've been throwing out here, when we get done broadcasting, I'm watching Cars. I'm watching all 3 of them on Disney Plus. I'm going to have a Cars party. But, either way, been phenomenal racing all the way in and through. Yes, we've had cautions, but that's just product of super speedway racing. I think the last time that we've had a caution-free super speedway race was back in the 90s before stage racing. And I believe Mark Martin won that race back in the early 90s, but it was at Talladega, full green, no cautions, not even for anything. So a full green flag race, and for everything to happen the way that it did back in the 90s, it can happen. But with the way that the side draft works as of now, prior to the Gen 4 car and prior, a lot of stuff is a lot different. So cautions are definitely going to be part of the racing here at super speedways. You never want to see more than a handful, but as of right now, we got Hackney and Davo going to lead these drivers back to the green flag.
Might need those tractors out there with the big lights to get these guys through to the end. I think there's
Everybody, boy, fans out there, put your arm trays and tray tables in their upright position, because it is about to get chaotic, ladies and gentlemen. And as we approach the end of this thing here, when will Team Nitro turn on each other?
Green.
I still am waiting to see that. Who's going to get greedy? Back to green with a Ram in front. The only Ram in the field. Heath Hackney looking for win number 4 of the year. If he can get it done, he's back in turn 1.
Yeah, you can see it there, the bottom lane, getting a really good launch on that inside lane. Davo's going to be able to jump down in line. He's going to go back to the outside. So maybe they're looking at it as, okay, let's control both lanes. As no, that's not going to be the case. Keith Hackney going to jump up to the outside lane. Davo's going to drop down to the inside lane, and just back and forth for a lot of these Nitro drivers trying to control both lanes the way that they can and know how to do. 3 wide racing once again, and by no one other than Brad Newman forcing the issue, making a 3 wide all over the back bumper of Matt Danson. As it sits right now, Tom Freer down on the inside of the number 1 Lobs Esports driver is still 3 wide, but look at this. Perfect unison for the Nitro drivers. They're collecting a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field.
They work now single file right down below that double yellow line. Remember that fair game as long as you don't cross it. You can look, but you can't touch, as they say, down into the corner. Right now, back behind them, Curtis, Cal, Hanson, Freer, all them. Newman right behind Danson. Here we go. And we are closing in, ladies and gentlemen, on the final 10 laps. It is about to get wild here in T-Town. 10 to go at Talladega.
10 to go indeed as the top 6. Nose to tail, no double file, all single file racing for a lot of these drivers. And, you know, anybody can still win this race no matter where you're at if they can get lined up the way that they need to be lined up and get that good pusher to get them all the way up towards the top. It's going to be a tough task to do, but anybody can do it as we have another caution on the speedway.
As we got trouble, we got a truck up against the fence and going in the wrong direction. That's Jared Gilbert. It looked like it's just him by himself on the back straightaway going into turn 3. As Jared Gilbert will put us under caution here. Just watch and see what happened. There he goes. He gets pushed. And here we go again. Nigel talked about it. Bump drafting and he gets bicycled up in the air thanks to Fitzroy Beaumont. But he gets back righted in reverse, truck up against the safer barrier, but the caution will come out here.
The caution's out once again. Just looks like the if we go on board, just once again, from what I could see, it's a driver not doesn't want to pick a lane. You got to learn to stay in your lane. Yeah.
Nigel, I think if we get another look at that, a little bit of a checkup and pushes him out of line. So Ben Faulkner pushed him out of line a little bit.
Yeah, that's a bit better view.
And then he's trying to get scrolled up with Aaron Borg again, and Ben Faulkner just got to his outside, and Jared Gilbert paid the ultimate price.
The other thing we've got to watch out too is sim time, guys. Are we going to have enough time in the race, in the session?
There is sim time to think about, and there is 11 minutes remaining with 8 laps to go. Wow.
And there's another caution lap.
Man, I would have. You know what this reminds me of, guys? And I know it's iRacing, but it's getting so dark. This reminds me of, I think it was 2020, 2021, when we were at Talladega. And it was a wreck fest in the Xfinity Series. But Tate Fogelman picked up the win. It was a truck race, actually. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. But Tate Fogelman ended up winning it. And it literally was almost dark like this when they called the race. Yeah. Yeah. I've always said, Dylan, I'm wondering when they're going to light up Talladega. They haven't done it yet.
Yeah, you know, it's weird how not all, but most tracks have lights. How cool would it be to
Will
have
they
a
ever light up
Talladega night race?
Talladega? Would they ever light up Indy? You know, Indianapolis with lights? I mean, Indianapolis is not lit up. No, sir.
Yeah, no. I mean, think about it. A night race at Talladega, a evening to night race at Indianapolis. Who wouldn't love having a race at night? I mean, the night races bring out so much better racing as it is in a whole than what daytime racing brings. Yes, you can see everything during the day, but at night, ooh, that brings out a new specimen of drivers.
That's why I always loved when I either went to or announced at the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, because the transition from the afternoon to dusk to night, the track changes, the track temperature changes, the cars change, the handlings change when they go to Charlotte. It is without a doubt one of the funnest things to check out and see strategy-wise. And that race will be on Memorial Day. You know, check it out if you haven't. Stay up one night. I guess the Coca-Cola 600 would be at 5, 6 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. So I guess what would that be, Nigel, for y'all? Would that be in the morning time the next day, Monday morning, Australian time for y'all?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, guys. I'm just listening to the in-game chat at the moment.
Well, let us know what the in-game chat is. What's going on? What's the conversation?
Just wondering when the lights are going to get turned on. There's a lot of joking that going on at the moment. A lot of
There is no
happy
light.
people in there. So that's all going to change though. Once it goes green, those happies are going to turn into very, 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 very different types of people. Anyway.
So 8 minutes remaining, Dylan, with 7 laps to go. They're coming to the little green. It'll be 6 remaining. I'm just going to throw this out here. If they can't finish this race in the next 7 laps and we get another caution, the race is going to get called on time. I just don't see them coming back and with the clock down under 6 minutes remaining. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, they really have to buckle down and get these last 7 laps completed under green flag conditions. We have not yet seen a race end under these circumstances, with time limit being in effect in a track with not having any lights. April Fools, you're not getting any lights anytime soon. But you know, I've never seen this series go to the time limit here in the trucks or the X Series. So it's definitely going to be shake or bake time for a lot of these drivers. Like, hey, do you want to end under caution, or do you want to make this race one to remember, as everybody coming around to go back to green flag racing? And look at all the flames coming out of the exhaust pipes downshifting, trying to get him back into second gear to go to the restart as Keith Hackney and Zach Sears going to bring him back to the green flag, hitting the restart zone as of right now. And here we go. Hackney and Dave O getting a beautiful jump on that inside lane. Hackney's going to be building out to a little bit of a lead, but that's going to allow a lot of the other Nitro competitors to get down in a single file line. Or is this the time where you want to be a Nitro driver and control both lanes, or even possibly all three?
Well, they're already starting to now already get unorganized and stick them 2 and 3 wide, and that's Nitro fighting for it. Bumping, banging in the middle. There goes Ethan Winter. Sizing up some Nitro boys. He's in the middle of that Nitro sandwich. Down into the corner to 3 and 4. Climbs his way into the top 5. Meanwhile, Hackney is up on the top side of the racetrack, holding off everybody. They're coming to the line with 5 to go.
Yeah, 5 to go, and what a move by Ethan Winter to trip everybody up, get the Nitro Racing team discombobulated there for a quick time, but it's Nitro 1 through 4 with Keith Hackney leading the way all the way around the racetrack, 3 wide towards the back. You can see it off the back bumper. Looking at Wesley's legs, kicking Kermit in the teeth as everybody trying to get up there towards the front, but it's all Keith Hackney using what he used all season long. Kute down, goes around down the inside, and now a big caution coming out.
That's going to be anything, guys. I think that's going to...
This is it. Austin's out. This is over. Big trouble. Kute Dow got spun all the way to the inside of the racetrack. Brandon Griffiths got lost. Look at this, and it was all retaliation. Ethan Winter and Kute Dow, they got together, and then they spun each other. Then Matt Danson, Jacob Riley also got collected. Look at this. This race is over. It's going to finish under caution. There is no way that they're going to be able to get this race restarted.
Yeah, I think Ethan Winter, after he got a little piece of Kute Dow, I think he got Dave Douglas right after, as we get a nice little look off the number 28 of Ben Faulkner. He's going to ship it down to the inside. What brakes are not needed here? Beautiful move by the number 28 until it wasn't. And everybody towards the back trying to dip, dodge, duck, dip, and dive away from all these. The 5 Ds in dodgeball. Big hit.
Dip, dive, and dodge is what you're trying to say. Look at this, Chapman and all these other guys. Wellman, Project 36 score up. And look at this now. Watch from another angle. See, now here's the deal. If Kute Dow would have got spun and stayed to the bottom of the racetrack, he was going to be okay. Fair game. We race on. But the problem is, Dylan McDonald, is when he spun, everybody panicked. And that's what caused the crash here. You're running out of daylight. You're running out of time in the sim. This race, if it gets restarted, it's going to be a miracle, but I don't see it happening. Look at the crash for Adam Gray, Sam Chapman, and others. Wow.
Yeah, definitely not what a lot of these drivers wanted to see, and such a big hit for a lot of them. Dave Douglas being involved, Jacob O'Reilly, Project 36 machines, and it all starts with Kute Dow, and then right after Kute Dow's incident, I think Ethan Winter got it to Dave Douglas. They're 3 wide. He's coming back up on the racetrack.
But they were already crashing before then, Dylan.
Yeah.
This was multiple crashes in all parts of the racetrack.
Can we get an onboard with Brad Newman?
Yeah, I was going to say that, guys. They're saying that there was an amazing onboard camera with Brad Newman avoiding this wreck. Nigel, can you give us an update? I know you're part of the Australian NASCAR Series. Are they saying they're going to get this thing restarted?
I think there might be a chance there's one more. Look at this. Wow. That's definitely a good track for that one. Plowing through that bulldozer. I think there's a chance there could be one more.
The
All the
clock
fire
is
coming away.
the clock is down to 90 seconds remaining. For everybody that's wondering, sim time, 90 seconds left. There's 3 laps to go. We are basically set up for overtime. But we're still on the regular scheduled distance. We're still on the regular scheduled distance. I just want to emphasize that. They're closing in on the final minute. This would be lap number 88 when they come to the line, which would mean that this would be 2 to go. Could they get the 1 to go indication? Now, I will tell you this, and I've noticed this in the past, Dylan. If they come to the line and they do get 2 to go, it's going to retract back to 3 to go because they're not going to force a 1-lap shootout. Overtime rules state that they're at least going to get 3, or at least a green-white checker. Dean, I don't know if you can do a countdown up on the scoring ticker. I want to see if it goes. I want to see if it goes from 3 back to, or from 2 back to 3. We're going to find out here in a minute when they cross the line. And the answer is no. They're still under 2 to go. So they're going to come back to green and they're going to take the restart, or the clock's expired. They might take the checkered flag, Dylan. They might come back out of turn 4 and take the checker, and the race is over.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do.
I think there's like 2. I think there's 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, with the way that the time limit starts in iRacing, Wes, I don't know if you've had this happen. If it does happen, once you get down towards the last minute or when time expires, you have that one last lap to get all the way back around, and then it's going to be checkered. So they're not going to add any more laps. You're going to go green. You're going to hit lap 90, and it's done. So once they come around this time by, it's going to be white flag. They're not going to be all full up to song and anything like that. It's going to be no lift and pray.
And they're not going to be up to speed enough to race hard. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's going to be a boring last lap. It's going to be somebody doing something crazy to try to move somebody out of the way. The word is crash, everybody. That's all I'm going to say. Because these trucks have got to get a lap or 2 before they get up to full speed on these super speedways. They're not going to get that. They will be coming to the line. As a matter of fact, if Dylan's saying what he's saying, prophesied correctly, they're coming to the white flag. They're going to come to the green and the white flag all at the same time. Keith Hackney, what will happen? No, guys, back to green. Here we go.
Green flag racing as everybody trying to do what they need to do. Keith Hackney all by himself, but no, I don't.
It's over. I told you.
Yeah,
it's over. Yeah. I told you exactly what was going to happen. They were going to come back around. The clock's expired. They were going to pull the pace truck in. They were going to cross the line, and the checker flag was going to wave. No overtime, no 1-lap shootout, no nothing. This race is over. Keith Hackney is going to win the race. It's the first, I think it's his second win with a Ram. I want to say it is. And his Vegas 4th win of the season. 4th win of the season. Wow, wow.
2 wins for Chevy, Daytona and Echo Park Speedway. And then 2 wins with the Ram, first coming at Las Vegas, and then this week here at Talladega. So Keith Hackney went 2 for 2 on super speedways this season. As we get a look at our podium finishers, it's going to be Keith Hackney in first, Dave Oljanczak in second, and Zachary Sears in P number 3. We're going to get a quick little commercial break before we bring our top 3 in the booth, get the unofficial results as well. But get us a little bit of a drink and get our voices back ready for the interviews here once we come back. And we'll be right back after these thoughts.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here with the Australian NASCAR Truck Series at Talladega. The darkness has set, but it's all Keith Hackney and the number 6 machine getting the race win here tonight with a quick little crash on the beginning of the race. Able to get the damage fixed on the number 6 machine, coming around to take the race win. Keith, walk me through the entire race of how your Ram race went, and what more did you have to do to keep yourself up there towards the front?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't know what to do at the beginning. We got caught up in the first wreck, and then we got smacked in the second wreck. And at that point, I was just ready to get up to the front and get away from all that stuff. So, we worked our way up there, and obviously a lot of strategy and a lot of talking with the teammates and figure out where to run, what we're going to do, obviously during the runs and or the restarts and stuff like that. So but when it comes to plate racing, I mean, there's a couple things we could probably work on, including myself, but I think we got it pretty down pat, for the most part, to turn some fast laps and stay up front.
Wes is not here, so yeah. You definitely did what you needed to do. You kept it where you needed to be. You've been working alongside of Davo all season long. You've been running a lot of officials with Davo all the way in and through. You gotta love the kick to the chest of Kermit the Frog all over the back bumper with Wes on the back deck lid as well. But Keith, before I let you get on out of here, if there's anybody on that number 6 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, just everybody at Nitro, Johnny for everything he does, and of course, all of our guys that comes in here every week, and I think we swept I don't know what 6 spots at the front of the field here. So shout out to all them guys. Tunnel Vision by Hackney needed a fresh paint. Come and hit me up. Vision Detailing. Got to thank Dave and Zach. Working with me right there. I anticipated we was probably going to race it out there, but just so happens the caution came out and somebody forgot to pay the light bill. So yeah, so it all worked out.
That's going to be our race winner, Keith Hackney, the number 6 machine. You're going to go ahead and move on to our second place finisher. That's going to be Dave O in the number 311. Dave, you did all that you could. You stayed out of trouble as best as you possibly could. You stayed up towards the front. You helped Brad Newman the majority of the race, but when it came down time to it, you stuck with your Nitro teammates. I wish the race would have went green the entire way of the stint of the race, but kind of walk me through the strategy of those restarts. Was it more of you trying to get down to the inside, or have Keith get a big enough jump to jump up to the outside, or are you just trying to get all Nitro drivers all on a line and try to control the field from lane 1 to lane 2 to lane 3?
Well, yeah, on the restarts there, Keith has some work to do on pushing. So it was either get Zach in front of me, or I drop in front of Zach, and whatever way Keith in front, then Zach, then me, or Keith me, then Zach. That was kind of the fast lineup. I think we were running low 50s there. I think guys, if you were in the back in the draft, ran some high 50s with that lineup. Probably about half a second quicker than what we were running. With it not being in that lineup we were in there. So it was kind of just getting that line, trying to stretch the field out, and just get some laps, green flag laps in, and try and keep it green.
Coming stage number 3, as soon as you guys hit 30 laps to go, all Nitro drivers decided to go into pit lane to take the undercut. Was that just a Nitro thing to do, to take the undercut and see what ended up happening? And then obviously you had the caution come out as soon as you guys get into pit lane. But did you think more drivers were going to go down into pit lane with you, or was it just going to be just the Nitro guys with 30 laps to go?
I figured from where we were in the field there, towards the front, at the front, with the majority of us, that once we peeled off, there would be a handful that would follow us down there and kind of copy the strategy to stay in the draft. So expected that, but wish it stayed green there and we didn't get that caution as we're on pit road.
Yeah, everything ended up happening the way that you needed it to. The caution came out right when you least expected it, but it ended up working out in y'all's favor. But Davo, before I let you get on out of here, if there's anybody on that number 311 you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
I could have done without that last one. Keith would have got the business. But yeah, Nitro Racing, Johnny Taylor for the setups, heatfinder.net, BMK Logistics, modsquad.info, and Tunnel Vision by Hackney for the paint. We're still running that throwback scheme from last week. It looks so good on the truck. Keep it on there for a little bit. The admins from the series on, you broadcasters for broadcasting, doing a great job, and CT Electrical for sponsoring the series.
All right, let's go to our second place finisher of Dave Oljanzek. And the number 311 Nitro Energy or Nitro Racing entry. Moving on to our third place finisher, that's going to be Zach Spears. And the number 342 making his first start of this season. Zach, you were kind of quiet the entire stint of this race. I mean, we didn't really know that you were in the race racing until there towards the end of the stages you started to come alive. Were you more comfortable pushing everybody the way that you needed to, or did you want to try to get that clean air and get some laps led?
Honestly, this is my first race with the new aero package at a super speedway, so I was trying to figure out. So I had probably like 15 laps during the race, trying to figure out how to push, how to be the third car, how to properly push. It was kind of just a toss up. Wherever I was is where I needed to be. We tried to line up in the best way possible to be the fastest we possibly could. We got it done at the end.
Yeah, you talk about the new aero package with this being your first race back in with the new update to the truck. What was more hard on yourself? What was it, the getting yourself lined up square to give a nice solid push, or was it when you were trying to get pushed, did the back end start to feel like a little light for you and start to get a little bit squirrely?
Well, it's not about being pushed. Pushing is not that big of a deal for us since we like to slam draft anyways. So with the old package, you're able to slam draft and get a good push out there. The new aero package, it's more of making sure that your nose isn't poked out, or you need to be square on a car or truck to even get a good push, and it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. You held on to it as best as you could. You came away with a top 3 finish in the number 342 machine. But Zach, if there's anybody on that 342 machine you'd like to give a shout out to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, first of all, Nitro Racing. Johnny Taylor's put in a lot of work over there. I know usually we're fast in the truck. BMK Logistics, Heat Finder, the Mod Squad, Graber Racing Components.
All right, that's going to be our third place finisher, Zach Sears, coming away with that top three. Going to go ahead and run down the finishing order, get the most laps led, the pole position leader on the field as we get ready to bring all this stuff up here before we close out tonight's race. But it's going to be when I was showing. Oh, okay. All right, so we're
We're gonna
we're
work
not
it out.
going
I
to
think
be.
we're gonna go back. I think we're gonna take it back to lap 88, but I don't think we're gonna be able to show that tonight. So
All right, well, yeah, we had a little bit of a mix-up with the race not being able to go completely green all the way in and through. Want to give a big shout out to all the racers out here getting the race done. As want to give a big shout out to Nigel coming up into the booth, helping us out, giving us good pit road reports, and then give a nice big thank you
Wesley,
to.
Wesley's just had a power outage. I think Miss Piggy might be hijacking his house there at the moment. We'll get an update on that on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely want to give a big shout out to Dean up in the production booth, helping us out with the beautiful cameras and helping us control the stream on that side. But that's going to do it for myself, Nigel, and Dean in the broadcast booth. Wes, if you're out there watching because your power outage, make sure you guys take care. Brush your hair.